Have you ever hit a moment where success wasn't enough? Where the weight of your past and the scars no one sees, or the doubts you don't dare voice, keep you from breaking through to the life you know you're capable of? Maybe on the outside, you've achieved more than most, but inside, there's still something holding you back. If that hits home, take a breath. You found your people, you found your tribe. Welcome to That Shit Does Not Define You Stories of Hope. I'm Athena Captain, joined by my co-host, Jada Haycraft. This isn't just another podcast, friends. It's a space to strip away the labels, the shame, and the invisible barrier standing between you and your next chapter in life.
In every episode, we'll bring you raw, real stories of resilience, people who have rewritten their lives and give you the strategies and tools to do the same. Whether you're climbing out of rock bottom or breaking through to your next level, your future starts here. Let's get started.
You can't heal what you won't face. You can't break the chains that you're not going to name. It's easier to numb it. I've been there. Bury it. To say, I'm fine. I'm okay. But as long as we're pretending and not being honest that it didn't happen, that it doesn't hurt, that it's not affecting us, we're going to stay stuck. So healing starts with being honest. And today we want to talk about how we take back our voices and take back the labels that have been put on us and own our stories and let the healing begin, because we are worth it, right? And so today, that's what we're going to talk about. And we've got an awesome guest here for you guys. I want to start out by saying thank you, audience, for being here. We're so excited about this podcast. We've gotten some great feedback. Hey, if you know other people that want to make sure that shit doesn't define them and that they reach their potential in life, please like, subscribe, and share. We want to get the message out. Also, hey, another note, if you know somebody has a story that you're like, Athena, they need to be on this podcast, reach out to us. Our heart is to tell the story so other people have hope. So I just want to say thank you for being here. And hey, guess what? We have a wonderful person today. We have a guest today that I can't wait for you guys to hear. So please stay on. You're going to want to take notes too, or at least save this one, because she is a powerhouse. So Jada, tell them who's here.
Well, I am so honored to introduce you guys to today's guest. It is Amy Singleton. She is an international speaker, published author, and serial entrepreneur. As the owner of Height Digital Norman, she helps health and home service businesses grow through powerful, sustainable digital marketing strategies. As a former surgical nurse turned to business leader, Amy rebuilt her life after health challenges ended her medical career. Now she empowers others to rise above those setbacks with clarity, confidence, and bold action. She's the co-author of Resilient AF Volume 2 and has been featured on Times Square Billboard's top podcast and national stages, encouraging others to do it scared and lead with courage. So please join me in welcoming Amy.
Thank you. Who wrote that? Wow. If I wrote that, good job, me.
Yay! Well, hey, isn't it fun to hear your bio and go, who's
right?
that?
I
right?
know.
Who
All
is
the
that
times
girl?
you sit around thinking, oh, I'm just some girl from Oklahoma. And then you hear that and you're like, dude, I've actually done some stuff. Neat. Yeah.
We're so excited that you're here today, because I got to tell you, I've known you for a while, and I respect you, obviously, as a businesswoman, but I respect you even more as a woman and what you've accomplished and what you've overcome. And I'm so excited for you to share your wisdom and your heart with our audience today. So if you don't mind, can we just get right into it?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So can you give our audience, an abridged version, very short version of why life has got you to this point? Now I'm going to dig deeper, but why are you on this podcast today? Why do you think that you should be here today?
Woo, such a loaded question. The reason I'm here today is because I think I'm kind of the definition of what your podcast is all about. I
Amen.
finally made a decision that the shit in my past was no longer going to define my future. And I drew a line in the sand, and it did not happen overnight. That's the lie. That's the lie. It's been almost 10 years of of trying and failing and trying and failing and trying and failing, but it all started with the decision that I was better, that I wasn't alone, and that I could move forward with confidence and grace.
And that is why you're here. I love it. Right, so, I just wanted people to hear that because I think it's important. Um, yes, you have the resume that is fabulous, but beyond your resume, you have done some inner work and healing that is pretty exceptional. So let's get into it. You've been open in public about your hardships growing up, your health, and your personal life. Can you take us back to one moment when you realized, I can't keep hiding from this, and you stood up to the truth and hit it head on?
Wow, I think the first moment that I had
Mm.
to face something that I
Yeah,
didn't wanna face, I
yeah.
already knew. I knew it in my heart, I knew it in my intuition, I knew it in what Jamie Kern Lima would call my knowing. Um, I knew that my first husband was gay,
Mm, yeah.
and I had to face it. I had never said it I had never really said it out loud. I had wondered and circled around, but it was our ninth wedding anniversary. We refer to it now as our divorce trip. We were going on one last weekend trip to try to save it all, and we've been through counseling and we've been through all this. But the problem was is that he defined me because I met him when I was 12. And we
Wow.
just kept taking the next step. We were best friends. We met in gym class 7th grade. Like, I'm sure there were kids that didn't feel awkward, but I was not one of them, and he was not one of them by any means. So we were kind of just kindred souls right away and just kept taking the next step toward friendship. Um, and then, of course, ended up married and 2 children and just kept trying to, have the 2.5 kids in the house and the 2-car garage and just live the Oklahoma life, right? And things weren't right, and things were obviously broken. We never fought. We got along for the most part, but things were obviously broken. And so I finally asked him on the way home, I-35 northbound toward Oklahoma City, Wayne Payne exit. I think it's exit 86. And I asked him, "Have you ever thought that you might be attracted to men?" And Athena, Jada, he didn't say anything. He just
Mhm.
kept driving for way too long, and then he
Yeah.
exited on the exit, and he just said, "Yes," and we both broke down. And so that was kind of really the first time I think, at least as an adult, because I didn't face any of the kid stuff till an adult, but that was the first time as an adult I went, "Something isn't right," and
Yeah.
and broke the false belief that I had been given as a 43-year-old woman living in the Bible Belt in the South going, "When you, by God, sign up for something, by God, girl, you better finish it. I done paid those fees for you to play that ball. I've done, you done walked down that aisle. We've had the marriage. You just keep going, right? You make it work." And I'm not kidding when I say we explored everything: open marriage, buying a bigger house, having 2 masters. Our children were 2 and 6. Like, what
Yep,
the
yep.
heck? So I had to really face that, and so much anger, so much guilt, so much
Mm.
shame, so much blame, so much hurt came out of that situation. We were so angry at one another, and I was so angry at God for so long. But after more and more piled on, then I finally realized that it might not have been my fault, but I
Mhm.
had a responsibility in it.
Mm.
You
What?
can get in a car wreck and it might not be your fault, but you gotta call the insurance agent. You gotta figure out something else to
Mhm.
drive. You gotta take all time off work. It's your responsibility to take action, right? And I wasn't. I was just sitting there as a victim, as a survivor in this club that I thought was helping me, and all the time it was just making things worse.
So let me get this right. So you found out that this, a knowledge, you became aware of what
Mhm.
I think your heart already told you, your gut told you, but you stuck to it. You didn't just say, "Okay, we're done." This what I'm hearing, right? You stuck it out because of what people told you you needed to do, what you were supposed to do to be a good girl, a good Christian, a good, all the things you have to be. And
And
so
I
you
think
stuck it
really
out.
I stuck it out, maybe not because other people weren't telling me. My ex-husband was the son my parents never had.
Yeah.
He was
Mhm.
so loved. He still is. I mean, he was he's at our holidays still now
Yeah.
again. But it was less of I think it was less a societal expectation. That was some of it, but Athena, most of it was the fact that it was my name and his name went together. We
Mm.
were those 2 people. We had been since we were 12, like, we still were. We were the perfect couple, everyone loved us, and then all of a sudden, it was like well, who am I if I'm not his wife?
Oh,
Who am I?
wow.
And that has been
How'd you
a
find yourself?
um I went to the basement. I just kept letting it add on and pile on and pile on, and I went into victim mindset, and, so much more happened. My health started to become destroyed. I lost my job as a nurse, and I just spiraled all the way down to the point of depression, to the point of
Mhm.
suicidality, to the point that I truly and honest to goodness thought that my little boys and everyone in this world were better off without me. I really did. I didn't heal right away. It was kind of like, the journey of entrepreneurism, people think it's this, but it's really like this. That
Yeah.
was that was my journey back to finding myself, and the truth is it took an almost stranger, to draw me back out. Years later, um, I had gotten to the point where I was an alcoholic. I was fully involved in a binge drinking situation where I was not taking care of myself. And my children were living back with their dad for the most of the time. I would visit for dinners. I mean, it was terrible. Like it was a total fresh hell. And someone came over one day, which is the worst thing you can do to someone who's super depressed, guys. By the way, is the worst thing you can hear. Holy shit, I'm not dressed. I'm in this house dress with no bra. I haven't showered in, I don't know, maybe 10 days. I mean, it was
Yeah.
bad, right? It was
Or maybe
so
it's the best
bad.
thing you can do. That's it.
It
Yes.
really is. It really
Yes.
is. So he
Yeah.
came over. He was a mutual friend, of just a mutual acquaintance, really, of my ex and me. And he was like, "Look," he drove from Ada, by the way, and he said, "Look, I don't know what's going." He's like, "Look, we're going to get a gyro. We're gyro. We're going to Norman. Come on, we're going to the gyro house in Norman. We're gonna go eat." He's a big Greek guy. He goes, "Look, what happened to you is shit. It sucks. You didn't deserve it, but you have people need you. Like you have something in you. What are you doing? You're better than this." And when he said, "People need you," that crushed everything that I thought. And I thought, if this perfect stranger thinks someone needs me, maybe really somebody does. And and then I was an Inc. 5,000 business owner, and I had a podcast, and I was speaking on stages. Hell no. Oh my God. Athena, my first step was to my mailbox. There'd been mail
Mm.
piled up for weeks. And my next step was to the bathroom just to wash my face. I couldn't even shower yet. And the next step looked like walking to the kitchen and feeding myself a single piece of toast because I hadn't eaten anything except warm box wine in weeks.
Mm.
And that is what a brave journey looks like. It's not pretty. It's fucking messy. It's so messy. And nobody's there when you choose, especially when you choose sobriety. Very few people, when you've gotten to that point, you have usually distanced yourself from
Mhm.
so many people in your inner circle and even your outer circle, even on Facebook. I mean, you seclude. And the worst lie of the enemy that you can believe is that you are alone, because
Mm.
I
Amen.
thought I was the only woman on the
Amen.
face of the planet that had ever been deceived, that had ever been married to a gay person, that had ever experienced this, that had ever experienced being diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis and lupus and breaking her back and cancer and having a miscarriage with a boyfriend and like all of these things that just piled on. And my pride ultimately kept me from asking for help because I was the strong one. I'm the oldest
Mhm.
daughter.
Yeah.
Amy has her shit together. She knows what to do. And then I didn't, and it scared everyone. It scared me, but it scared everyone around me.
Thank you so much for sharing. I mean, obviously, thank you for sharing.
Of
And
course.
I hope the people listening here, this is the truth. The road is messy. Life is messy. You do not go from broken to healed overnight. While you're going through your healing, I want whatever stage you're in, like Amy's discussing, you're okay. If you are rock bottom, okay, acknowledge it, reach out. If you can make it to your mailbox, count it as a win. I think wherever you're at, you need to know where there is a step forward, and it's never too late. It's never too late. And the other thing, I loved what you said. I mean, I want to go back to it because I have a question for you. I want to go deeper with it. Tell me if I'm hearing this right. A lot of that enormous depression was because you were what the first daughter should be, So you had a perception of who you should be, and then you had your identity wrapped into someone else. So you had this awakening and learning of who you are. So as you did that, what was the hardest truth you had to confront about yourself in your healing journey?
This one is tough. So any high D, Enneagram 8, um, what is it, the Maverick? I mean, whatever personality test you can take.
Right.
If you're that woman,
Yep. Hey,
you
I'm there.
if you were
Big
born
D, Enneagram 8. Yep.
if you were born with a microphone in your hand and you like to wear like crowns because you are the center of attention and you've asked yourself, why the hell am I not in charge of everything? Because I know what to do. Like if they would just ask me, right? Like the leader of the line, the dependable one. The absolute hardest thing I've had to learn, and I have to say it's been this year. This year, I finally learned this. And this year is why my speaking career is taking off. Really, two things, and they're kind of wrapped up into one. Here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. It's not about you. It's
Amen.
not about me. It's never been about me. It's
Amen.
never been
Mic
about,
drop. Mic
I mean, like,
drop. Everybody hear that? Okay, keep going.
yeah, it's never been about me. And I have had some experiences recently that have just really revealed that to me, and that my success, as much as it has been hindered because I wanted to pick up that microphone and have the light shone on me. And I wanted to be seen as valuable. And I really struggled at first in my speaking career, um, with not having everybody know everything about me. You heard me start to name off some of those things because I still struggle even now to, like, if Jada doesn't really know me, but Athena knows me, but like if she doesn't understand that I also had cancer and I also had a miscarriage and I also, but da, 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 if they don't know everything about me, then they don't understand me. And that's not the truth. I had a recent experience at a speaking competition in Dallas, and the
I
Lord told me
stalked you on that, by the way. I was
you
watching.
did.
I was
Okay,
cheering for
thank
you,
you.
just FYI.
Thank
I
you.
love that.
Dude, I went down there with the full intention to win. I was like, "I
Yeah.
got this. I'm gonna
Oh, yeah.
win this. I'm the best. I
Yeah.
already got the experience." And then I get there and I notice I'm almost one of the only people in the room that has a speaker sheet, that has a podcast, that's done this quite a bit before. Um, and the Lord told me, "This isn't for you. You don't this isn't your win. This isn't your time, but you will get what you need here." And I did. And one of the things I got there was in my keynote speech, one of the things I tell is this story about how I wore this goofy fabric belt on my head to school and my mom was just horrified. It was big yellow like headband and I wore it like a crown on my head. But when I told the story previously, I would say bus number 6 picked me up, dropped me off to Mrs. Crable, da 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 da. And what I learned is that they don't have to. It's not about my details. But when
Mhm.
I say let me ask you this, Jada, what bus number did you ride?
I honestly have no idea.
Really? I'm so surprised. You're like the only person I've asked that's not known that. I asked a 56-year-old woman that the other day, and she goes, "Oh, bus 115." Because if you rode a bus, a lot of
To
times
be
you remember
fair,
that bus.
to be fair, I moved schools 3 times,
Okay,
and
well, that
so
makes
by
sense.
the time I moved to, like, the 3rd house, my neighbor started taking me to school with
Okay.
her.
Well, that's totally fair. Totally fair. But what I learned, all that to say, total tangent, sorry. But what I learned was when I say the bus dropped me off to my teacher who loved
Mhm.
me so much. Most people had a bus. Most people had a teacher that loved them. And when I say, this person in the story um, made me feel this big. Instead of talking about me and like actually, I have to make them feel how I felt. It's not about them understanding my story. It's about me telling a story that puts them at a place in their life so that I can make them remember and then feed them a truth and then help them to act on that. It's never been about me telling my story. It's never been about any of that. And the Lord has really told me that like now that I'm ready to start speaking for him, um this is when it's going to happen.
I love that. Well, now it will be tenfold the impact. When he gets involved, that's where the impact is. And I will say, as a speaker, there's freedom in knowing that we're doing it
Mhm.
for him.
Yeah.
Because then when I laugh when sometimes when I speak, Jada will say, how'd you do? And I said, well, okay, from a speaker's perspective, 1 out of 10, I'll give myself a
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
But I was like, but the Holy Spirit showed up and it was a 12, you know? It's like there
Yes,
is a
yes.
differentiating thing. There's that's a real thing. But hey, you talked about, making it about them. So there are people listening right now and they have truths that they're not being honest about, Amy. If there are truths going on in their life that are stopping them from reaching their potential, making them go in their basements, making them go to addiction, there are truths they're not being honest about, and they need to get honest so that they understand their value. Any words of wisdom to those women or men listening right now?
I know it's scary. I do. I do. Whether it's an addiction you yourself are wrapped up in, or it's a relationship you know you don't belong in, if it's a mindset that you're telling yourself that you are poor, that you were born poor, that you don't deserve something in your life, um, everything you want is on the other side of what you're terrified of.
Mm,
And getting really genuinely curious is hard because you then have to ask yourself, who am I becoming in this moment? Who am I becoming when I retreat to my basement? And it's really hard to have these kind of clear thoughts when you're in it, right? Like, and now that I look back, I can say, well, of course I was becoming a disconnected person. I was becoming a drunkard. I was becoming um, absent. I was becoming all of these things. And I think the lie is that people think you have to go from one place to the other place, like we were talking about before. It's not like that, man. It's messy. I heard Layla Hormozy say the other day, like, dude, if you're eating a sundae, an ice cream sundae every single night, you can't go from eating an ice cream sundae to not eating an ice cream sundae. Tonight, take off the caramel. Do that for 5 days. Then in 5 days, take off the whipped cream. I'm
yeah.
serious. That's how, and
Yep.
people are believing a lie because, especially because of social media, because of the media in general, that there are these overnight glow ups, these overnight
No.
successes, none of it is that.
None.
None of it. I have met
No.
tons, dozens of celebrities right on our stages that we've hired for our business. John Maxwell himself has mentored us for a year, and he says everything worth doing is hard. Nothing worth doing is easy. It's all uphill. Expect hard. It's not if, but when. Surround yourself with the right people. Get the shit off of your tongue. What you speak to yourself. One of the other things I got from that conference or that speaking conference
Yeah.
was Summer Day ran that, and she is a woman fully on fire for the Lord, totally understands the whole microphone thing. But uh, she said she does the life and death is in the power of the tongue, and she said, I never say I'm tired. She said,
Mm,
"I quit. I removed that word from my vocabulary. Every morning when I wake up, and I do this now too, I say, I got as much sleep as the Lord intended. And I'm not tired and I'm not broke and I don't say those words because I know now how powerful they truly are. I have had to physically rewire so many synapses in my life through therapy and meditation and outside help with different therapies and modalities that I understand that repeating those things is not just like negativity. It is truly wiring itself into your brain and making
yeah.
you believe it, because when you say I'm tired, who are you becoming? You're becoming a more tired person. It's like
What if, Amy,
Summer
what if
says,
I'm effing tired?
well, then, you have to say, like, I'm going to take a nap. But Summer Days says that your brain is a fact finding machine on a mission. And if you tell it, I'm tired, it's going to find every reason to prove you why you're tired. And if you say I'm rested and I'm ready and I'm a vessel of the Lord, then your brain is going to go out and find every single reason for you get to be those things.
I love
And
that.
those are the hard things. Those are the daily things. Every day I
Mhm.
wake up and I say to myself and my husband, Holy Spirit, get into my head today before I can. And my husband looks at me and says, it's going to be a wonderful day. And you know what, Athena, even on days when we've had deaths recently in my family due to addiction, which breaks my ever loving heart,
Oh,
we have
yeah.
had so much trouble and strife and joy. And I finally, in my mid 40s, understand that my joy, my actual joy, it's not contingent upon the stack of bills. It's not contingent upon temporary things. It's just not. It's stupid. I mean, like, I have no reason to be joyfully laughing most of the time, yet here I am. And one of my good friends, Christy Diamond, says, uh, what does Christy Diamond say? God, you're going to be okay. The reason that women like us can lead other people is that because we've been there and we know the known of their unknown. We've been there, we've been through the hell, we know we're going to be okay. We've survived everything up until this point, and there's not anything that can be thrown at us that we won't survive. They can't eat us. So
Don't you think that
we're
it
okay.
yeah, I think it's really encouraging because I think I want people to hear, don't be afraid of the truth that's hard. Don't be afraid of the truth that is hard. Look at it face, just look at it straight in the face. I recently had to come clean with some of my closest people that there is an area in my life where I was allowing fear to rule. Now, I'm not going to go into all of it because it's very personal. But I will tell you, if I went into it, most of my audience would be like, "Yeah, that's okay to have fear there, right?" But the reality is, I had to face the truth that the fear was not best for me, even though it was rational. Do you know what I'm saying? So something I want you to understand, this is what we're talking about. The emotion that you're feeling or that truth that you need to address, even if it's real, you can look at it in the face and say, I really do feel that, but I'm not going to let it define me. I will not let it stop me. And I want people to hear, I mean, your story says that over and over again. You face the truth and you overcome. And but I also don't want to do this positive, toxic positivity.
Right.
I hate that.
Me
You
too.
know?
Mhm.
Um let's be honest.
Yeah.
It sucks sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes you're hurting and you still go. Sometimes it's painful and you still go. I really want people to hear this. Don't wait till it feels good or you're healthy enough or whatever. It's not Amy's story is telling you it's not going to happen. It's going to happen when you face it and you walk to the mailbox, right?
Right.
Hey, you
Yeah.
know what you did, Amy, that I'm so proud of you? I'm so proud of you that you opened the door to your friend who knocked on the door. You know, you want to talk about a defining moment in your life? You open the door.
Yeah.
And look, by you doing that, look what God has just showered
Mhm.
on you and the healing, although it was a path, but the
Yeah.
healing and now the representative you are for other women, but you made a choice. I want people to hear that. In your most broken, you made a choice to open the door. So I ask people right now, if you're going through stuff, first of all, please know somebody else has gone through it and survived it. And it's okay. It doesn't mean it's who you are. If you're an alcoholic right now, it doesn't mean you have to be. If you're an addict right now, it doesn't mean you have to be. If you're prostituting your body right now, it doesn't mean you have to be. I
That's right.
want you to, it doesn't matter what is going on. If somebody's hurting you, it does, right?
Mhm.
All you need to do is do what Amy did and open the door to one person. And I pray that God bring one person to everybody listening and that you would
Absolutely.
open that door. Because the truth is, on the other side, that when you face that, and understand your value is not based in those behaviors. Your value is because of the beautiful human being that you're born in, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
Right?
And, I'm so glad, like you said, I'm so glad I opened that door because some of the people that had come to my door very recently were not there in kind. I had a family member who was so upset with me. She came over to dig through my trash
Oh.
can and throw the cardboard boxes on my porch, say, "You're such a drunk." And I mean, looking, we're all reconciled now. We're all reconciled, right? But I've come to such an understanding very recently
Mhm.
about my anger at the church. And what I understand now is my anger was at human beings. My anger was never at God because God would have never ever treated me any way that a human had treated me. Jesus
Mm.
would have never. And so many times we exclude an entire thought pattern, an entire idea because one stupid dust made human messed it up for us. And that's why I'm like, I know that God is setting me up to speak for something. We actually created a brand a while back called Turning the World. We thought it was going to be like a podcast for Joseph and I, and then we thought it was going to be his little photography brand. And the Lord has very clearly said to me the last couple of weeks, like, You have been called to speak, but not speak, preach. And you have been called to speak and preach to the people who are turned off, pissed off, angry,
Mm.
walking away, middle finger in the air, imperfect, tired of looking at lives at church that look one way and seeing them on the outside, so angry and so mad and running away where I was, where my husband was. And I think there is a revolution of people rising up right now that are fed up with the lack of compassion in our leadership overall, that are fed up with human beings being angry and mean to one another. And I'm like here to debunk that shit. Jesus ain't on that side. He's never been on that side. So they can
No,
take a walk. I think my signature talk is going to be called Forget the Church.
hey, it's
Cause
it.
you know what? Like, and not like, no, I go to church. I love my church, but like the church has really ruined it for a lot of people that want to follow Jesus. And I'm here to say that's some bull crap.
Well, it's because it's not a reflection of him.
That's right.
I've actually, and I've said this on one of my podcasts, that I quit saying I was a Christian and I've started saying I'm a follower of Christ,
That's right.
because being a Christian sounds like I'm entitled to something, and I'm
Yeah,
entitled to nothing.
that's right.
Being a follower of Christ means I'm willing to lay my life down. Every dream, every ambition, everything in my life belongs to Him, and at whatever cost. That's
That's
a
right.
different thing.
Yeah.
And so now by doing that, I get so much. I get salvation and I get hope and joy
Yeah.
and so many things, but it doesn't entitle me to anything. I'll just
Absolutely
tell
not.
you that.
I
There's
think so many people
nothing.
say, "I'm so blessed," and I'm like, "Do you understand? You wanna go study some words because blessed and called does not mean riches and royal robes. Blessed and
No,
called
right?
means
I
sent,
mean,
means lay it all down, count the cost, get out the door, go
you
on
got it.
down to wherever you're going. I mean,
Yeah,
it's getting
exactly. I
dirty.
mean, exactly. Well, and blessed can look different, right? I mean, for sure. But hey, okay. So these people that they're out here, and I can't wait for that podcast, because we will promote it here, because I am sad for the people who don't know Jesus because of, I love what you said, dust. What did you say? Dust?
Dust created.
Dust a person made a dust person.
Yes, I'm like, we've got to figure that out, because that's money. I was like, oh my god, I got to use that one. But
We're made of
okay,
dust, right?
yeah, you're just from dust. You're just a
We're
dust person. I
just a
love
dust
that.
person. Don't listen to the dust bunnies, guys.
Don't listen to the
Listen
dust
to your
bunnies.
creator who calls you and equips you and doesn't require a single thing of
Amen.
you and doesn't require you to get unmessy
I
before you
love it.
come.
Okay, so these people listening, is there a daily habit? Okay, because the journey was messy. You know that. You're honest about it. Is there something that you can encourage them right now? They're in the middle of it. They're trying to face their truths, and maybe they just faced it, and now they're unpacking the hard stuff. Is there daily behaviors that they need to know that will help them get through this?
Yeah, two things. What the first thing is pick something hard.
Mm,
Craig Groeschel, Pastor Craig Groeschel says that his hard thing is flossing. He hates flossing. It's annoying. Nobody likes to do it, but he knows that if he flosses every single day, that he can do anything, right? My husband finishes his shower. Well, sometimes even just takes cold showers the whole entire time. And I've done that too. I don't do it every day. I do cold plunges and stuff, but it's like if you choose something hard that's usually part of your morning routine, you know that like nothing that comes at you, like you choose hard. You're like, I go into hard. I can manage hard.
mm,
And the other thing that I've done, and this has only been the last 2 years, and I think this would have um, erased all of the angry church. Maybe it wouldn't have because I'm where I'm supposed to be. But what I didn't do before that I'm doing now is reading my Bible. I'm actually reading it every day with my husband. We spend about half an hour to an hour
mm.
every morning. We do different studies that go along with either the Bible app or the Bible project or something to kind of help guide us and learn. But it's such a love story. It's
Mm.
so incredibly violent and gruesome and brutal and sexual and everything is in there. And we're actually going levels deeper of reading like the Greek and Hebrew and actually I'm learning for myself. I'm not believing what some man on a stage with a
Yes.
microphone said back in the 80s or 90s. I'm listening. I read the Beatitudes constantly. I read Romans 12 constantly. And I'm like, how can I model my life after Christ and locked with him every single morning so that I don't become what I
Amen.
really am? I have to be
Amen, right?
covered. It's not
Amen.
sinless, it's just
I will
covered.
I will amen. I can't preach that
Yeah.
enough, because it's so critical for us to know the truth. I'm just going to say
Yeah.
that.
I feel
You know, I
stupid. I felt stupid and ashamed for a long time, and but that's why I'm saying it, guys. Read it. Like, don't listen to what some guy at a church is saying or someone
no,
online says. Go read that crap for yourself and find out
absolutely,
what you hear ain't the
absolutely.
truth necessarily.
Jada, will you do us a favor and link the Bible app and
Yes,
the Bible Project?
Of course.
I do both, and the Bible Project is one of my favorite
Mhm.
resources to
Yes.
go deep. Um,
And The Chosen. Have you watched The
oh
Chosen?
yes, I own them all. Heck
Has
yeah, I've watched
just
them over and over.
revolutionized my understanding
Yeah,
of the disciples, and I see myself in every
yeah,
one of them. It's
I love it.
awesome.
All
Yeah.
right, so Amy, I have 2 questions, and we'll wrap up your interview part, my friend. But what's one give them one piece of advice, these people listening, what's one piece of advice you're like, "This you gotta do," outside of reading the Bible, because I think that's key.
You have to find your purpose. And
Okay.
all of our purpose is in God. I mean, if you recognize that, it should be in God. But what I really mean is your identity.
Mm,
Find out who your identity in Christ is, and not tie don't tie your identity to a person. I tied it to my family, I tied it to my ex-husband, I tied it to my job as a nurse, and I tied it to a lot of people tie it to their children. A lot of women our
yeah.
age tie it to their children. You are a whole person, no matter what can you do every day alone, whether you're alone or with a million people, no matter where you are, what is your identity and your purpose? And
Mm,
that can really start to be the North Star that guides what you do and what you don't do.
mhm. I love that. Powerful. I hope everybody in here starts being encouraged to face the truths that are stopping you from understanding your identity. All right, Jada. Thank you, Amy. Hold on, because you might have a comment here, but we've got to get to the science. We always want to make sure that we back what we're talking about with some research and science. And Jada, roll, please. What is it this time? Let's
I
see
will
if
give it
it
to you guys.
matches.
Drum roll, please. No, you guys know I'm a little bit of a nerd, so I always got to bring the science. So I will try to keep it brief today, but I do think I have 4 things of science. So the first one is that research indicates that individuals who engage in self disclosure, so sharing personal thoughts and feelings, experience increased psychological resilience. This process is meditated by boosts in self esteem and self compassion, suggesting that opening up about one's experiences can fortify mental strength and aid in the recovery from adversity.
Yes.
Let's do
Yes.
that.
Girl, that's biblical. The Lord says, remind yourself where you've been. Remind us where
Mm,
we've come from. Yeah, that's
Amen.
good.
Amen. I love that. Okay, the second one, it's a study from the University of Notre Dame. They found that participants who consciously reduced the number of lies they told experienced significant health benefits. Over a 10-week period, these individuals reported fewer physical complaints such as headaches and sore throats and improvements in personal relationships, highlighting the health advantages of living more truthfully. And that just really made me think back to what Amy was talking about not telling herself she's tired in the morning, because your body will feel more tired because you're
That's
complaining
it.
about being tired. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I just thought that that was interesting that those kind of
See? It
I
fits.
think I believe Martha Beck wrote a book on that about like she lived an entire year without telling a lie or something. It was very transformational. That's incredible. Yeah.
Okay, I need to
I
look
love
into that
that.
book.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, the third one, it says that avoiding uncomfortable truths can lead to emotional avoidance, which is linked to increased psychological distress. Facing these truths, though challenging, allows individuals to process underlying emotions like fear, anxiety, shame, and leading to a sense of relief and emotional freedom.
Mhm.
What do you think
Yes.
Yes.
about that, Amy?
Absolute that's also biblical. Confess, hold one another accountable. It's such a weight, guys, because the truth is, again, it doesn't happen overnight. So the longer you wait to reveal that truth, that's how long you're going to wait to start the healing. You can't it just
Mm,
Amen.
they can't exist together. Just lay it down. The shame has no place. Absolutely
Mm.
no place in your life.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
was
Lay it
good. That
down.
was a mic drop, Amy. I love that.
Just been there, man. It just hurts my heart to know that people are suffering where Athena and I have been, where you have been, and they don't see a way out, and there's a way
Yeah.
out.
Always.
Mm,
Mhm.
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, the last one, it says that or studies have shown that individuals who habitually conceal personal information are more likely to experience heightened levels of anxiety, depression, and physical
Mhm.
symptoms. This
Yeah.
self concealment can lead to
Mhm.
feelings of loneliness and decreased self esteem,
Mm,
emphasizing the importance of openness for mental well being. And I think Amy hit on that really well
yeah.
today.
Yeah,
Yep. Let's
So
talk about it.
that's right. We
let us
heal in
talk about it.
community.
Awesome.
Yes. Okay, so wrapping up with the facts and figures, if you will, facing the truth about ourselves, no matter how uncomfortable it is, can be a powerful catalyst to healing. By embracing honesty, we are opening that door into improved mental and physical health, stronger relationships, and more resilient sense of self. So remember, the path to healing begins with the courage to confront what you've been avoiding. Athena, where does the rubber meet the road on this today?
All right. Now, you guys, you know, our heart is we want to tell you authentic stories. We want to bring you science that you understand. But most importantly, we want to give you some action items. And and I hope you write these down so that you can transform your life because you're worth it. So, the number one thing here, I don't have many, but number one, name the truth you've been avoiding. Name that truth. I just told you guys, yes, this in the last 5 days, I had to name the truth that I was allowing fear to stop me from doing something. And so name your truth. As soon as I said it out loud and I was accountable to people, I feel free. My circumstances have not changed, but I feel free. So we can't heal what we don't face. So be honest about it. Go tell somebody you trust. Say, hey, this is a truth. Okay. Now, if you are somebody listening to this podcast and somebody is abusing you, I want you to feel the truth, that feel empowered. Go tell somebody about it. You know, I was sexually abused for 13 years. And for 13 years, I didn't think I had a voice, that my voice mattered to make it stop. It matters. If somebody is hurting you, the truth is somebody's hurting you and you do matter. Go tell somebody that's safe. I really want, I feel like somewhere somebody's going to hear that. And I wish I didn't suffer for 13 years because I believed that I was not valuable enough. My voice wasn't valuable enough. So face that truth and tell somebody. Become accountable if it's something you've got to work through or if something's happened to you, be honest.
Mhm.
Okay? That's where the healing starts. Soon as I said I was abused, that's when the abuse stopped, but it also started the journey of God restoring me. All right, number 2, speak it to yourself first. Speak the new truth. Speak the truth to yourself. It goes back to what Amy was saying. Say, I'm worth it. I'm valuable enough. The world needs me. I am important. Your brain needs to remember how amazing you are. Just yesterday, I had the privilege of talking to a lady that's building a nonprofit, mom of a child with special needs. And in the conversation, I just really felt led to tell her, "You you need to do this because of who you are and you're capable, etc." And I said, "Say that out loud to me." And when she had to say what I said to her, she just broke because saying it out loud was so hard for her, but then she had to digest
Yeah,
that it was true.
yeah.
So say it out loud. Say who you are and what you're capable of. Your brain needs to hear it. Your brain needs to hear it. Number 3, choose one person or a safe place to share. Okay. Um, please find your tribe of people. Maybe it's one human being. Okay. And those of you who are listening, be that one human being.
Mhm.
Be the person that people are like, you know, I'm going to go talk to Amy. I'm going to go talk to Jada because they're safe. They're not going to judge me because that's the number one thing about safe. Do not judge. I don't care if somebody comes to you and says they're an alcoholic, drug addict, and prostituting themselves. You do not judge them. It's not your place. Love them. Love them. And listen to them. Hear their story. They're valuable. So find your safe place and let's be the people who are safe. And last, honor your courage with one small act of self compassion. Please have grace for yourself. Amy said it. Shame has no place in healing. Have compassion. No matter what you have done, God forgives it. No matter what has been done to you, God restores it. So just to have self compassion for wherever you're at. Don't judge yourself too hard. I think you guys know, I've been trying to lose 150 pounds. I'm 80 down, but I'm gonna celebrate every baby step, right? And I haven't said this out loud, but I'm gonna say it. When I get to my goal weight, every sign of the ACE score, I'll defeat. It's the only last one. And so, and I think the fear that I had to overcome is wrapped into that. But it's the last statistic that I won't be a version of, right? And I'm gonna have compassion for myself as I fight this, right? I'm gonna have compassion as, if it takes me another year to lose the last weight, right? Have compassion. So speak kindness to yourself. Be kind, have grace for yourself, and remember how valuable you are. So in summary, know your truth, say it out loud, speak it, share it, and honor yourself for doing it. Really important. Healing doesn't start when life is perfect. Please know that. It starts when you stop pretending, right? And the first step, take it today. It could be a baby step. It could be literally opening the door,
Yes.
right? And for me, after 13 years of abuse, it was me finally telling someone, I'm really tired of being hurt, right? And it can change your life. And you matter, and it's important. So, boy, this was a big one today, Jada. Whew.
Mm. We all need a
Every
deep
time
breath.
we get together, it's
I
like,
know.
woo!
We're
It's
not gonna be
awesome.
able
I
to
can't
meet in
wait.
public anymore. It's just here.
I know when we have lunch, it's like, okay, the tissue, we're praying in the restaurant, but someday we'll even share a stage. But Jada, where do we go from here?
I love that. Well, thank you both first off for just your vulnerability today and sharing your stories and just your hearts. So thank you for that. And Amy, I would love our audience to know how they can get connected with you and how they can find out more about you.
Well, this happened by accident, but my handle on all channels is The Real Amy Singleton, and the website is therealamysingleton.com.
I love that.
Some heifer went out and stole Amy Singleton. I don't know who she is, but I'm glad I got to be real after all these years.
You are the real one. So
That's right.
I'll make sure that your social links and your website are all linked
Thank you.
in the show notes. And also, I believe you have a freebie that I can share in the show notes as well. So I will make sure that that is linked. And then I'm also going to link the Bible app and the Bible Project and a link to the Chosen because it got a special shout out. So we have
So
a
good.
lot of good quality things to add to the show notes today. So if you haven't checked those out, the link will be in, or there is a link in the show notes to visit all of these links. Make it easy for you. One link to get them all.
Yay.
Love it. Thank you
And
guys
if
so
you enjoyed
much.
this podcast, we would love to invite you to like and subscribe so you can join us next week. You can find us just about anywhere. So if you're looking for us on other social platforms or the internet, you can search Athena Captain's name. She is a pretty cool, unique name, so it's a little hard to miss her. But in all seriousness, this is not your practice life, so don't wait for it to be perfect. Start messy, start scared, just start because nothing changes until you do. So take one step toward the life you want and dare to share it with us. We'll be standing here with you every step of the way. We'll see you next
Yay.
week.